Good afternoon, guests, staff members, students, and community watching at home. We welcome you to the 105th Annual Memorial Day program at Morrison R. Waite High School. This program over the years has held a place of importance in the hearts of staff, students, community. We dedicate this program to those members of Waite High School community who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice. We try today to live up to their memory and their honor. We thank the Toledo Fire Department Pipe and Drum Corps for joining us this morning. We thank all of you for watching at home today and help us keep this tradition alive. At this time, we will begin our official program.
To the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Memorial Day's history is traced back to the years immediately after the Civil War, when people across the nation took time out of their spring to decorate the graves of those killed in the Civil War with freshly grown flowers. The practice expanded after the World Wars, and in 1971, Congress declared Memorial Day a national holiday. Here at Waite, our veterans and our war dead are commemorated around our campus. On our bronze tablets of Toledoans who served in the Civil War, on the wall near the main office. On each gate of Molotov Stadium are plaques honoring 2 Waite graduates who died in the aftermath of World War I. More than 130 Waite men were killed in World War II, and in 1950, this granite memorial was dedicated to our fallen. The names of our Waite students killed in the Korean War, the Cold War, and the Vietnam War have since been added. In 2002, the Memorial Garden Project was begun to commemorate our community's sacrifice anew. The monument was brought closer to the heart of our school and beautified and maintained as a permanent memorial. Our community has kept the names and memories of these men alive long after they have died. Their sacrifice is not forgotten. Today, in this 105th Memorial Day Assembly, we dedicate ourselves to them and their family's sacrifice.
It has been our tradition over the past several decades to have an honored staff member read Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. One of the shortest presidential speeches, it is also one of the most powerful speeches about the sacrifices of the fallen. Today, Mr. Jeff Griffith reads the Gettysburg Address.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated the proposal that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as the final resting place for those who here gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot concentrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have concentrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little know nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from earth.
During World War I, a father in Cleveland designed a flag with a red border and 2 stars in the center, representing his 2 sons who were serving in the United States Army. The tradition spread with blue stars representing the family members in active service, and the gold stars representing a loved one who had lost her life. In 1928, a group of mothers of fallen soldiers formed the Gold Star Mothers of the United States. Over the years, we have been honored to have Gold Star mothers in attendance of this observation. To recognize these mothers, we would like to once again honor them and pay tribute to their sons. Bernice Bruner, mother of Michael C. Bruner, Private First Class, United States Marine Corps. Michael died in Vietnam on Sunday, August 10, 1968. Edith Burnett, mother of Carrie W. Burnett, United States Marine Corps. Carrie died on Wednesday, July 19, 1967, in Vietnam. Betty Elliott, mother of Lawrence D. Snyder, Sergeant, United States Army. Lawrence died in Vietnam on Thursday, November 30th, 1967. Rosa Feemster, mother of Caroline Feemster, Specialist, United States Army. Carolina died on Thursday, September 1st, 1966. Edith Moon, mother of Thomas H. Moon, Corporal, United States Marine Corps. Thomas died on September 2nd, 1968. Waite has always honored the sacrifices of our Gold Star mothers, but we must also pay homage to the rest of the Gold Star families. Wives who lost husbands, fathers who lost sons, brothers and sisters who lost their siblings, and most critically, those young boys and girls who lost a parent. Many of you watching had your lives changed by the loss of a family member in service to our nation. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, we honor your family sacrifices here today.
Over the past 106 years, the Waite High School community has held this program through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, times of struggle, times of celebration. This is the 2nd time this observance has been held in a time of pandemic. It is, as far as we can tell, the first time it has been held without students on our campus. And each one of us here today wishes our whole school community was here to commemorate this together. But this Memorial Day also gave us an opportunity to reach an audience larger than we can fit in our auditorium. And to that audience, we speak now. Morrison Waite High School prides itself on a foundation of tradition, loyalty, and service. You students watching this at home who have placed purple stars in your windows in remembrance of those Waite students who walked the same halls as you 50, 70, and 100 years ago, you are as much or more a part of this than those of us here in the Memorial Garden today. You have taken the time to ring bells in memory, in solidarity, and in community, and in expression of our Waite core values of loyalty. Mr. Fritz, Mr. Griffith, Mr. Dean, Sergeant, and the Sergeant with us today, thank you for maintaining that awesome sense of community even from home this year.
At this time, we honor the men who are the reason we are here today. Waite High School's 132 men killed in the two world wars, Korea, Vietnam, and the Cold War. Each serviceman's name will be called and a bell tolled in his memory. Please remain in respectful silence as we call out the names of our Waite heroes.
From World War I, George Fisher.
Walter Gorley.
From World War II, Richard A. Allman.
Frank E. Aldrich.
John Ain.
William C. Austin.
Rexford G. Bauman.
George G. B.
Donald M. Bennett.
Richard D. Bentz,
Lawrence J. Berry,
Raymond A. Bigley,
Maurice E. Blackmore,
Robert C. Blossy,
John R. Booth,
Edwin F. Bauer,
Baird E. Brooks Jr.,
Brett J. Brune,
Walter Cassidy,
Raymond Chavez,
Donald M. Conaway,
Robert C. Cook,
John Jarvis Crane,
Julius T. Demko,
Hillary C. Dietzer,
John F. Dockerman,
Louis C. Fazier,
Joseph S. Fegus,
Steve J. Beaches,
Robert S. Falk,
Edwin Ward Frazier,
Robert D. Gabriel,
Joseph J. Gerard,
George W. Giroff,
Robert S. Gerald Jr.,
Edgar L. Jarrett,
Jack H. Gibbs,
Eddie R. Glover,
Andrew Grebo Jr.,
Robert G. Gross,
Chester A. Gunka,
Raymond R. Hayes,
Donald Hall,
Frank B. Harple,
Alvin G. Harrell,
Marcus C. Harris,
Richard H. Helbing,
Robert Leo Huffman,
Mike Rivnak Jr.,
Henry L. Hummer,
Albert J. Jankovic,
Francis M. Piernak,
Carl Joseph,
Andrew P. Uhas,
Donald H. Kessler,
Kelvin C. Knecht,
Edgar Cohn,
Louis Carmoni,
Joseph Kovacs,
Louis E. Larson Jr.,
Perry Long,
George Lutfi,
John P. Basic,
Melvin D. Mance,
Elmer F. McCullough,
Herbert R. Monet,
Toifi Nassar,
Peter C. Nektoff,
Eugene J. Oatley,
Dean B. Orwick,
Thomas E. Otto,
Fred G. Paulson,
Harold G. Phillips,
Joseph R. Pittner,
George J. Prasick Jr.,
Jack Quick,
Joseph Ramasaki,
Charles D. Roby,
Paul G. Rosenbrook,
Joseph E. Rossi,
Mike Saba Jr.,
Earl Sager,
Robert J. Shainwald,
Joseph Schiffler,
Philip L. Schreider,
Price Safran,
James Shake,
John M. Sherry,
Robert L. Siemens,
Graham H. Smith,
George Y. Smithers,
Wayne A. Sorga,
Wyant Sprankle,
Forrest B. Stubbs,
Norris H. Sutherland,
O'Bray Sutphin,
George C. Sutton,
Andrew Zala,
James E. Teachout,
Louis W. Timmons,
Julius J. Toka,
Robert M. Tolles,
Robert A. Urban,
David R. Walter,
William K. Webb,
George Wilson,
Milton A. Wimple,
from the Korean War, Louis Petrov,
from the Cold War in Germany, Donald Dake,
from the Vietnam War, Michael Bruner,
Carrie Burnett,
Barry Hamilton,
Terry Hart,
Larry R. Hill,
David Killian,
Thomas Moon,
Mike Nottage,
Richard S. Patterson,
Jack Schober,
Gary Snyder,
Larry Snyder,
Willie Tucker,
Gordon Euler,
Robert Weiss,
Thank you again to the Toledo Fire Department, Pipe and Drum, and for being with us today. We invite you, members of our community, to visit the Waite Memorial Garden, places obviously practicing social distancing. Over the course of Memorial Day weekend, if you choose, please feel free to come, bring flowers or remembrances to the Memorial Garden, and reflect for a moment to thank our Waite alumni in our Memorial Garden and their sacrifice. Thank you for spending a bit of your time with us today and help us carry this program forward in this difficult time.